My parents taught me so much about upcycling before there was a word for upcycling. They would call it mend and make do. Kids today get these crazy Halloween costumes, my own kids included. We get way into the Halloween spirit. And when I was a spoiled new bride, a friend said she found a Halloween costume for her little toddler that was only $50. And back then, I thought that was crazy. Fast forward to last week, and now I happen to think that's a pretty good price compared to what I see out there. How things change when you have kids, right? Everyone talks about the costumes of the 70s and the 80s being BPA filled plastic smocks and maybe a mask with tiny slits for the holes for the eyes. I wish I had one of those luxurious store-bought costumes. But when I was little, I didn't get that. My mother would make my costume. I mean, what a brat I was to wish for a plastic Smurfette costume when my mom would create a whole getup for me. But anyway, when I was in first grade, I got a store-bought witch's nose, and my mom created a whole witch costume around it. And in second grade, guess what? Out came that nose again, fastened onto my face with surgical tape. And my mom made a felt cap, and voila, I was Pinocchio. And by that time, unfortunately, I had my boy short haircut. So at all the houses where we went trick-or-treating, the homeowners would always say, "Oh, what an adorable little boy you are." And then the next year, my witch nose from first grade and felt Pinocchio cap from second grade became the basis for my third grade costume, an elf. Ugh, good times. But it's all about mindset. So if you can encourage your kids to think a little differently about their Halloween costumes or their toys or what they ask for their birthday, and think about how they can be repurposed. Think about the money you save and the values you teach them. Get creative and get upcycling. And now that we're talking about holiday seasons, I want you to think about what holiday decorations you have. So if a holiday has just passed and maybe you're collecting the things, taking down your decorations, before you put them back in the bin, reassess, reevaluate. What do you really need to store for another 12 months until you start decorating for that holiday next year? Did you leave anything in the big Rubbermaid bin that, you said, "Man, I didn't really want to use it this year." Look at what you left behind in the bin, what you didn't take out this year, and assess if that's something that you really want to save again. Because as you add to your collection, a lot of the things just get crammed into that same holidays bin. And then the things that you do want to use, the newer things, start to get crushed. So what can you clear out? What's maybe not age appropriate anymore if you have kids? Be brave. Recycle it, give it away to friends. If it's seen better days, recycle it or toss it, and really try to evaluate. Don't put it off till next year. Try not to give yourself that free pass of, well, maybe we'll use this next year. No, if you haven't used it in the past season or even the current season, even, just get rid of it. Do yourself a favor. It's just collecting dust. It's just getting older. Your giant 18-gallon bin is not intended to be a scrapbook box of mementos from yesteryear. Try to be brave about it. Keep the memories in your mind and toss the items that you won't use, didn't use, and will never use. You're listening to A Little Debbie. It's a bite-sized version of the longer podcast, Upcycling with Deb. I'm your host, Deb Colameta. I wrote a #1 best-selling book called Best Offer, Best Life. And you can get in touch with me and find out more information about the classes I offer, webinars or debinars, by going to my website, www.thedebsite.com.